guys? Welcome to, I'm actually not going to call this a Let's Play. I'm going to call this a video journal. I think this is going to go along the lines of what Animal Crossing GameCube did, where there's never really an end to this game or a finish, because I'm not going to, like, do an achievement series or anything like that. We're just going to, like, play a town, and we'll see how the town goes, and then I might do, like, a Season 2 where we just play a completely new town and go a different route or whatever. But this will be Season 1 of video journals of SimCity, because a lot of you had asked me about this, and I played the game, and I thought, why not? I actually haven't played the game in a while. I believe they just updated to release 8.0, and I got the new free DLC. They added some new buildings, so I did get on and mess around with those. But they did add a bunch of new things I never really got to mess around with. I haven't honestly played since the summer. And I know they fixed a lot, because I got on those old worlds when I was testing, and I had to delete them because they were all glitched, because I know they changed a lot of weird things. But regardless, we're gonna go ahead and create a new game. Now, I thought about making you guys like get to pick each individual thing here, but excuse me, I think I'm gonna wait and do that maybe in another set. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick some basic things right here. I know they added some new regions. Let's see here. I'm just gonna like look at these really fast and talk about each one, and then we're just gonna go ahead and pick one. I'd like to pick something that has a little bit more variety and opportunity, so that Season 1 can be just one town, and then Season 2 can be another town in the region, and slowly things could start tying together if this were to continue like that. So I don't think I'm going to do any of the ones that like only have 3 cities or 5 cities or 7. Even 7 is a little bit small. Although that is I know they added some new ones, and I've never even like seen them before. I don't like how each one is separate though, but I like how each one could be connected through the ocean. Family Badlands, that's got 14. Jeez, ew, that's boring. It's all dead. The Verdant Jungle, 8. That looks impressive. I like that little island there. Let me take a look at it real quick. That's neat. We'll keep that one in mind. Desolation, no. Viridian Woods is the basic one that it started with, and the ones with 16 sites that I've played this so many times, I don't want to play that one again. Sunrunner Bay, oh, that's small, only 2. Discovery Delta, cities 16. That's pretty neat. That's really interesting. Horizon Archipelago. I like the cliffs. The cliffs are kind of neat, actually. Titan Gorge. Wow, they added a lot. Edgewater Bay. Ooh, neat. That's only got... It's 7, though, so there's still potential on that one. And 10 here on Granite Lake. Interesting. I think I'm going to go with... Let me look at this one a bit more. There's not really much water access, but I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just clicking next real quick so I could see the regions here. I'll go back. Neat. I also want areas to have rail. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do this one. What's the one over here that was neat? How much does this jungle one have? 8. This one has 10. Let me look at this one. Let me look at this one real fast. Okay, they're all here. Only 2 great work sites though. But for the most part, things are connected. Again, let me look at this one real fast. It's only got 1 Great Works. I want more than 1 Great Works site. Sorry this is so difficult. This is actually more interesting. Let me go ahead and try this one here. We'll name the region. I don't know. I am going to leave this as a private region for now, but I do have a way of letting select people join. I might do like little contests or little things, because if I just open it to the public, it would get filled up it'd get filled up rather quickly. And unfortunately, that would probably make things kind of difficult, and kind of unfair. So I'm gonna make it a public region or a private region, and then I'll have invitation only for others to play. I'm not gonna play in sandbox. This is gonna be completely legit. But let's see. We're gonna name the region. It's kind of a neat area. Let's see. We got little islands. Isla Atoll. I could name it something dumb. I could just name it the town isn't so much of a deal. The region can just be Let's Play. Utopia. Funny. Let me think about this real fast. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with something basic. I think this is what the name of the region was anyways. I'll just name it Edgewater. That'll work for now. Alright, so these are our cities. Let me explain this a little bit, because I did just pop in this earlier. You have the city sites, and then you have great work sites. Great work location sites are where you can build like select projects that are involved across the entire region. And you want at least a couple of those to do various different things. The white here are the rail lines, the yellows are the roads, and if there's water, they can be all connected by water if they have access to water. It looks like, okay, I'm a sucker for rails. I really like railroads. So I definitely want to have a town that has access to rail. And I would like to have access to water, but that's not too big of a deal. I'm going to look at this one here. When you click on these, it's going to give you some statistics about it. It's going to say, okay, does it have rail access? Does it have shipping access? And then it's going to tell you what resources it has. Wind, you know, how much wind does it have, like for wind power? How much water does it have in the ground? Does it have oil? Does it have ore? Does it have coal? That actually has pretty much a lot of everything. It says generous hub and railroad throughout a large reservoir Kudo just below the surface. The rail running through this site is ready to carry resources to the global market. Alright, we'll come back at that one. I think the other one has water and has rail over here. So you can see there's not much. It makes it easy. It makes it fairly easy to have a town that has wind power for your first town at least, because having just been able to supply a little town through wind generation is really nice, not having to deal with anything else until your technology gets better or without polluting everything. This looks like it has 3 layers, which is kind of neat. It's got some water access here, and it's got enough resources for everything. Does this one have? Yeah, this one has all of them too, but it doesn't have much wind. That one's flatter though. This one has water. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one. This will probably be the easiest one. So let's go ahead and claim our new city. Cylon something. Alright. So I just claimed it. You start with 50% happiness or approval rating. You have 0 population. You start with 50,000 simoleons. So let's play. It's herding the llamas. Give this a minute. This always takes a little while. One of the horrible aspects of this game is that it's all online, so you can only play it if you're connected to the internet, which is terrible. And they've talked about releasing a patch to make it offline, but it can be really a pain sometimes with connecting. I'm sure if you've heard about this game, you know how terrible the release was for it. But for now, it's been pretty smooth for the time being. They released a lot of patches, and I think they're just about have everything in. I know there's even a few things they haven't quite done with, like the leaderboards and the global stuff. They haven't quite gotten to yet. But I think for the most part they've updated a lot. And wow, this looks fantastic. this game has fairly good graphics, and right now I can show you the graphics settings I'm playing on. My graphics card automatically optimized it to have everything on high, and then shadows on low and lighting on low. And textures can only go to that. Geometry can only go to high. Animation detail can only go to high. I have anti-aliasing on. My frame rates are at 30. But I did turn the lighting on low because with no lighting it looks pretty terrible. I can put, when I'm not, like, I can probably put this on medium and shadows on medium because I believe lighting goes to ultra and then shadows go to ultra as well. And I could potentially put those up, but you would only be getting like 20 frames per second. And then I can play it on max settings if I'm in a still, so I can get some really nice still images. But as soon as I move around, I get a ton of blur, and it's really laggy. My graphics card can't quite handle the maximum. But as you see now, it's really nice and smooth, and everything seems to be, working great. This is a fantastic starting map because usually what happens is you just get like one road that goes through and you get one little area. But as you can see, we actually have a huge, the highway goes through our town, and we have a huge swath of road of the highest density avenue without rails, or international or regional highways that we can have. And that's all the way through, so we can start building right off this. A lot of money going to roads will be cut off. Alright, so we've got water here, we have road, we have a ledge, and we have flat areas, and we've got this top section up here. One of the things you want to do first, and one of the mistakes I made with a couple of my first town, is I didn't get to see where the natural resources were. There is natural resources under the earth here in all these different areas. And if you can go ahead and start building, but you might find that you just built your residential area, even though it's nice up here, you might have just built your residential area on your entire town's oil reserves. And you're not going to be able to access it without completely demolishing your residential area and building it somewhere else, which can be a huge pain. So before I do anything, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and look at where my stuff is. So you go down here to this section, city specialization, because it's special stuff for your city. And here's mining. Brings up a little thing, so we can click on, okay, where's the coal? We have a little bit of coal. We have some coal up here. This doesn't look like very much, but this top part, and it looks like this top area up here, like the top plateau, has some coal. So it's right there in the middle as a bullseye. And then the iron ore, I believe we had medium levels of all of this. Iron is spread all over. It looks like we have a concentration here. We have a little bit up here. But we do have some iron up here. So I think what I'm going to do, just based on looking at these two at least, I'm going to reserve this top plateau right now for industrial mining and coal mining and iron ore mining. Even though we do have some areas down here. Looks like I'll try and maybe focus the residential down here along the beach, which might actually be kind of cool. Let me check oil drilling really fast. Okay, oil drilling's in the middle. And again, these are like, you only have so much, so once you you extract them all, this area will go away and you'll have to move your plants around, which can be fine because it does take a little while. So we'll reserve this area here and then this up here on this plateau. So we'll avoid building in these two areas for right now. It looks like this area right here is probably not going to be accessible. Let's look at... I want to look at a few more things. I want to look at water. I want to look at where our water table is. Because in order to access the water, you have to pull the water from the ground. We have plenty of water down here all the way up, just because we have a dry spot where the oil is. Again, that's no big deal. We have water pretty much everywhere. More reason to focus down here on the southern and eastern section of our map for residential building. And last but not least, I want to look at power. I want to look at, not the power map, I want to look at the wind map, because wind energy is the cheapest and the best way to start. So it's going to show you these arrows and the direction that the wind is blowing. The wind is crucial for a few things. It's crucial for, one, your power, but it's also crucial for pollution. So this is actually working out perfectly, because it looks like most of the time on this map we're going to have a nice steady sea breeze, which means that building all of the industrial stuff up here on the western section, and on the northern section will be great because all the pollution will get blown out of our town to another town. So we won't have to worry about pollution problems with all of the coastal regions that hopefully we can develop nicely. Okay, so we've got wind speeds. Doesn't look like too crazy. The wind speeds are kind of just basic, but that's the wind direction. Winds don't look too strong. Definitely not as much as it was showing on that front map. Okay, so I think that's done. I've analyzed the map. I know what the terrain is like. I know what this map is like, and I like it, and we're definitely going to build. So going back to the city view, this is all of the city icons where you're going to spend most of your time here. Great work sites, and then this is where you can zoom out and you can go to the region view, and we'll deal with that later. But alright, I want to exit out of the wind map and go back to the basic mode. Alright, the next thing I'm going to point out here as we hopefully can finish up this episode is over here. On this right side with these little bubble icons, this is where you're going to have little mini objectives or mini quests, if you want to call it that. Things you can do to reap rewards and unlock new buildings, money, different events to get triggered inside of your city. They're all going to be over here on the right side. So as you can see right now, we have a panel of people that are here to advise us on how to work our town. And they are somewhere around here. But we have here, the quest is, the objective is called Breaking Ground. We need to draw a road from the main highway through the town and zone residentials and have 10 and more houses. So we're going to do that. We have this big highway, this big avenue come through here. I think I want to focus most of my initial building, residential building down here along the coast. So for simplistic purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and not get too artsy with it, just plop something down. Now each of these is a different category, and if they're yellow or red, it means you should probably click on that because your advisor, this is our advisor for all of the roads and transportation. He says we have an urgent problem because no one can get here. You have to connect a road to the highway and then zone along those roads. Now that's a little bugged in this map because this map we technically have a road going through it already, but we still have to build something off of it. And the most money efficient way to do it is to build something low density and then upgrade it, because if you just go here and try and build your highways off of this and put little houses on it, it's not very economical. The only thing is, when I do have a specific plan for a big town in mind, I have to make sure that I do make it so that I can have some bigger avenues in there, because unfortunately this is a single laned road, so that if I do get really big skyscrapers and a lot of traffic and I want to upgrade to avenues, I'm going to have to destroy the buildings to expand the road because suddenly the road is 2 tiles wide. So for now, I'm just going to stick with 1 tile wide roads, but as soon as I start really mapping this out, I'm going to have some other sort of avenue transportation area going through this map. So we'll just start over here on the right hand side. I'm just going to start with dirt roads. They're super cheap and it's really nice. Okay, so we can make some really cool, curvy stuff here, whatever we want to do. But again, for now, just for simplistic purposes, to get this town underway, I'm just simply going to build a dirt road. A dirt road right here, and we're going to get there. Okay, so permits granted for power, water, and zoning. We have our city funding has been approved. We successfully drew a road from the highway, so now there's technically something here other than just the highway, so we're officially a town now. And as you can see, a whole bunch of stuff started flashing. If it's flashing, it means you unlocked something new, and you should probably click on it to see what that new stuff is. For instance, we can now build a sewage outflow pipe to take care of the sewage in town. We can now build a water tower. We can now also build some basic power things. I'm kind of surprised we got the nuclear power plant. I don't think you can get that. If you build things that are outside of your Sims educational range, you will have problems, like a nuclear meltdown. But this is the yellow one. This is what's important. He is our zoning guide. He's telling us we need to draw a residential zone. Now, I'm going to go ahead and draw it, and as I draw these 3 new things that we've unlocked, I will bring attention to something else. Okay, so in other SimCities, you could draw giant boxes or whatever, but in this SimCity, it automatically zones regions for you right along the roads. So as you can see here, it zones at like a certain size back, and it just literally just becomes a nice little region here that's zoned out, and then the game will just automatically fill it in based on how it works. So you really don't have to do anything. It's free to zone, and it's really easy to zone, and it's not as complicated as like making bigger regions. It's literally just going to do it all by itself. Now, zoning here is just divided into 3 sections: residential, commercial, and industrial. This is where people live, this is where people shop, this is where things are made, and also where people work. So over here is your, I believe in other SimCities that is called your RCI index or something like that, residential, commercial, industrial. And it shows you how much demand. Right now, if I were to zone industrial, I probably wouldn't get any of my zoned areas developed. Same with commercial, because we have no population. There's nobody here to work, nobody here to shop. But there is residential demand, and then these are also divided into different wealths. Industrial is divided into different technology levels. This is divided into wealth. So you have low wealth, medium wealth, high wealth, and each of those wealths can be divided into a separate density. Low density, medium density, high density. Meaning such as low density is big plot with one big house. High density is small plot crammed with a giant skyscraper. It's just the density of people living on each plot. So by default right now, everything is going to be low density. I'll talk about how to upgrade that later. And for now, everything's going to be low wealth because that's the only thing that is being demanded and the only thing that is here. So we've zoned residential. We have now 10 houses being built. So we've completed this goal. And yes, that is gone. So with that, you can see the houses get built here. They start getting built, and then they get plotted out, and then a construction truck has to arrive, then they start building, and then a moving truck has to arrive to get the people to live in it. Now, you need road access for these things to happen. This will never develop unless construction trucks and moving trucks can get here. And as you see, the trees are getting disappeared as they're plotting out, so we'll be talking more about that later. Alright, so now that we're official town, I can click down here. This is our city name, Cylon Steps. I can click on it, and we can name our city. Let's see, we can name it... We got a little harbor here. What if I renamed it Rico Harbor? There we go, Rico Harbor. Name it. I like it. I'm thinking Super Mario Sunshine. Maybe I'll go play that later today. Okay. That is all that I'm going to cover for this first episode of SimCity. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward to it. I've got a whole bunch more information to share and go over next episode. And without further ado, this has been Mike, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya!